Many of the world's ancient civilizations didn't have a written language, and even those who did weren't in the habit of writing instruction manuals or technical manuscripts to go with their technology. Because of that, we are often at a loss to understand how ancient technology worked. In some cases, we don't even know how or why it was invented. All we can do is look upon it in wonder, which is precisely what we're going to do in this video. So let's get started. The Sunking Las Vagas. Italy isn't exactly short on ancient wonders, but our next incredible site isn't one of the more famous ones. Bayer has developed a nickname among archaeologists as the Sunken Las Vagas, which might have a lot to do with the fact that it's underwater. This is a whole ancient city beneath the waves and not far from Pompeii or Naples. Well, whatever the people who lived here may have done in their spare time, they created some wonderful things from stone. And the fact that it's underwater makes it hard for archaeologists to come here and examine its many mysteries. Chinese bronze artifacts. Our ancient ancestors developed different skills at different times all over the world. 3,500 years ago, there was nobody in the world more adept at working with bronze than the ancient inhabitants of China. We can tell that over the countless examples of ancient Chinese bronze work that archaeologists have discovered over the years. Were they merely decorative items or had their purpose simply been forgotten over time? There were so many different cultural groups around in China at the time that we often don't know whom to credit with the creation of the objects. Whoever they were, they weren't a very advanced civilization. The site of Sahasrara Liga in India is as popular with science fiction fans as it is with archaeologists. That's because the numerous carvings and stunning rock formations on the site look so much like a famous dial from Stargate series. You'll find the carvings in Karnataka if you ever want to go and take a look at them yourself, and not even the residents know who made the carvings. For all we know, no such technology existed when the stones were cut. Some of the shapes and carvings come from inscriptions, but unfortunately, the inscriptions are too badly weathered for us to be able to make any sense of them. However, this is now a world-famous site, but we still know precious little about how it was created. Ancient aqueduct in India. We're not sure about the race of monkey-like humanoid people, but we do know that whatever culture lived in the village of Hampi in the Indian state of Karnataka in ancient times is responsible for some remarkable feats of structural engineering. Looking at this precise engineered square stone structure, you could easily believe it was a sporting arena. But it's an aqueduct. This magnificent structure supplied water to a city of thousands of people. The function of the Humvee aqueduct isn't mysterious, but the strangely shaped blocks used in its construction are. This is far from the easiest way to build an aqueduct. So why this style chosen? How were the stones even cut with such precision? Sadly, these are questions to which we don't have answers. Cisterns of Carthage. We know more about the origins of the Cisterns of Carthage in Tunisia than we do about Sahasrara Liga, but that doesn't make them any less wonderful. The Romans were incredibly advanced architects and builders for their time, but the cisterns represent some of their finest work. Even after the Roman era came to an end, countless people and culture found alternative uses for them over the centuries that followed. If you ever visit them, you'll find yourself wondering how people had such detailed knowledge of hydraulic engineering 2,000 years ago. Monolith of Britain. If you're one of our British viewers and have no idea what we're talking about the Redstone Monolith in East Riding of Yorkshire. It is located in the middle of a cemetery, but it towers over both the cemetery and a nearby church. The monolith stands 25 feet tall and its origins are unknown. Most historians believe it was built during the late Neolithic or early Bronze Age. However, the stone is not indigenous to the area. It came from the Yorkshire moors, about 40 miles away, so it's worth wondering how the people of the time have been able to cut the stone and drag it 40 miles to erect it. The ancient Mayan roadwork. While great attention is paid to the largest Mayan monument in South America, far less attention is paid to the ancient Mayan road network. The roads are known as Sakbe. They're exceptionally well preserved but have attracted very little in the way of archaeological research. Each sakbe is a mound of crushed limestone and pebbles, and the roads are elevated above the rest of the ground. The Citadel of Aleppo in Syria. Aleppo's citadel in Syria is both ancient and massive. It is one of the world's oldest and largest castles. It would be considered an outstanding architectural achievement if someone were to build a structure like this today. The fact that it was completed 5,000 years ago is almost unthinkable. It is debatable how much of the structure that exists today can be tracked back 3,000 years. There are indications that the citadel was extensively expanded, repaired, and altered until the early 12th century. Countless civilizations and cultures, including the Mamluks, Greeks, and Byzantines, have either lived within or used the citadel over the centuries. Unfortunately, it was heavily damaged between 2012 and 2016 during the Battle of Aleppo. Since 2017, a restoration project has been underway, but there is still a lot of work to be done and it's unclear who will pay for it. A network of tunnels runs beneath the citadel, beneath the moat, and out into the city, and they are still not fully explored to this day. Pyramids of Meroe in Sudan. Sudan isn't a safe place to visit, even after South Sudan separated away from the rest of the country and became an independent state. It remains a troubling war-ravaged region. Because of that, the pyramids of Meroe got very few visitors from the outside world. The pyramids were built about 2,800 years ago, back when Sudan was part of an ancient state of Kush. The two pyramids, which are listed in the UNESCO World Heritage List, are even sometimes referred to as the Tomb of the Black Pharaohs. The power of the Kingdom of Kush once stretched from the coast of the Mediterranean Sea to the heart of Africa. The Chanda Plate. Our next mysterious find goes by a few names. One is the Chanda Plate. It's also known as the Chanda Slab, but whatever name you call it, it is thought by some to be an ancient map. It's even been said that the uneven surface of the stone is an accurate depiction of the gradient in the region. The first is that a map of such supposed accuracy could only be designed by someone who could see the region from above. The second is that the sample taken from the shell fossil inside the rock suggests that Chanda Plate is about 50 million years old. When you combine the two, it's easy to see why so many scientists dismiss this as nothing more than a rock with some interesting cracks and fissures in it. However, it cannot be dismissed so easily. On top of the layers of dolomite that make up the bulk of the slab, there's a layer of silicone-rich glass and a layer of calcium to make the markings more visible. The stone clearly shows signs of artificial origin. But how is this even possible? Ancient city of Nan Madol. Nan Madol is an ancient city built on coral reefs on the island of Pompeii in Micronesia. The stone used to build Nan Madol doesn't come from the island, nor does it come from anywhere else in Micronesia. That means someone took incredibly heavy stones from an unknown location and brought them to Pompeii to create Nan Madol at least 1,000 years ago. We don't know who those people were or what technology they could possibly have used. Ancient wood-carved canoe. The discovery of an old canoe in Wisconsin, USA doesn't sound all that exciting until you hear more about it. Wooden objects like this would have rotted away centuries ago under normal circumstances. But this canoe has survived because it was buried in clay and mud 30 feet below Lake Mendota. Little is known about the people who made it, but they were probably ancestors of the local First Nation people. According to archaeologists and historians, dugout canoes like this were the first watercraft our ancient ancestors ever created. Thank you guys for watching to the end. Please subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell, and enjoy watching new videos on this channel. See you guys later!